Hey, this is Bill from Tutor Bros. In this video, I want to go over how to rank a data set and then also how to better display that ranking with a VLOOKUP function. So in this particular data set, we, has a, we have a class of students, 16 students, and their corresponding test score. Now, they're in no particular order, but let's say we wanted to rank these students according to their test score, highest to lowest. So we can do that by using the rank function in Excel. So it's equals rank.eq, open parentheses, and the first argument that we want to enter is the number that we want to rank against the data set. So that is 71 for John in column C. And then then we do comma, and then the next argument that we'll enter is the list that we want to compare that value against. So in this case, we'll just highlight all of column C because we're comparing his score against the score of the entire class. We hit F4 to lock column C, then we do comma, and then the last argument that we enter for the rank function is if it's descending or ascending. So in this case, we want highest to lowest, so we'll select descending. So you could click on that or just type in a 0. And we'll end the parentheses and hit enter. And you can see that John is ranked 14th in his class of 16 with this score of 71. So that's not great for John, but let's say we want to see the rankings of everyone in his class. So to do that, you can hover over the cell in the bottom right, and if you get that black cross, you can double click, and you can see that it ranks the students according to their score. So in this case, we are looking at James's score of 99, and it compares it against the rest of the class, and he's ranked number 1. Robert's 13, Michael 7, etc. So now we have the ranking of each student next to their name, but the ranking isn't in any particular order. So to get it into a better order, in our case, let's say highest to lowest, and let's say we want the top 10 students. In columns F and G, we can enter that info. So in the ranking column, if I type a 1, and rather than type 1 through 10 out, I can do equals, reference the cell above it, and do +1, that's 2, and if I drag this down, each cell will reference the cell above it and add 1. So 1 to 10, we have the ranking, and now we'll use a VLOOKUP function to look up the ranking against this ranking column and pull back the student name. So in another video, I did go over how to use the VLOOKUP, so you can check that out. But in our case, I'll go over briefly here. So if I do equals VLOOKUP, the first argument is the lookup value, so that's the rank number of the student we're looking for. We're looking for the first ranked, hit comma. The next argument is the table array. So the array is the column that you're looking up against and the column, and drag it over to the column that you want pulled back. So in this case, we want the students in column B, their name. So the array is columns A and B. We will lock that with an F4, hit comma. The next argument is the column index. So this is the number of the column you want to take back. So A is the first column, B is the second. So we want the second taken back or returned back. So we type in a 2 there. That's the third argument. And the last argument for the VLOOKUP function is, do we want it to match exactly or approximately? And in this case, we want it to match exactly, so we'll type out the word false, end parentheses, and hit enter. And you can see that it returned the name James. James has the highest score with a 99. So if I want the other rankings, I can drag this formula down, and it populates the name of the rank associated with that student. So Michael's number 7, Hank is 8, and Joseph is 10. Now what's good about the way we have this set up now is that if this was some sort of dynamic list or you wanted to add to it, if you added names and their test scores, this ranking would change as you add more scores. So let's do an example. Let's say Harry took a test late, and you're adding his name to this list, but he scored a perfect 100. So if I hit enter, Excel was smart enough to realize that I was entering more data here, and this automatically pulled the formula down for me, but in case it didn't, I could just drag it down, and you can see that it's ranking Harry with his score of 100 against the rest of the class. Now he's ranked number 1. And then this list also updated automatically. So Harry is ranked number 1. Everyone else got bumped down 1. And you can see that Joseph was 10. He got bumped off the list. And now Joseph is ranked 11 with his score of 83. So this is how you use the rank and VLOOKUP function to display a data set in some sort of ranking order.